Hello, everyone. It's Joseph Hall, Executive Director of the Kelly Strayhorn Theater. Today, I'm at the Alloy Studios, and I'll be chatting with Maria Bauman as part of 19 Minutes with Joseph Hall, Reclaiming the 19 and COVID-19. So bear with me in a minute, for a moment, and I'll connect Maria.
Yay!
Yay!
Is that working?
That's awesome. Hey, Maria.
I am so glad to see you. Hey.
I'm glad to see you too. That's awesome.
How are you, my friend?
I'm well. I'm here at the Alloy Studios. You've been here before, right?
Oh, yeah. I was there not long ago for a wonderful panel with Janera and Jawale and lots of other amazing Pittsburgh artists. And I've seen performances there. Yeah.
Was that last year in like May 2019?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, great.
Oh, wow. So it's a year ago.
Yeah,
Just about.
a year now.
Wow.
So for everyone who's joining us, I'm Joseph Hall. I'm joined by Maria Bauman-Morales, and this is 19 Minutes with Joseph Hall, Reclaiming the 19 and COVID-19. And Maria is, I feel, many things, but I want to let her tell you what she is in this moment. So Maria, will you introduce yourself?
I'm happy to. As you said, I'm Maria Bauman-Morales, and I am a community organizer and a dance artist. And the motto of my dance company, MBDance, is sweat your truth. So I'm really interested in embodying what's real and what's healing for all of us. I'm based in Brooklyn, New York with my company MBDance, but right now I'm in Chicago where I am Practitioner-in-Residence with the Columbia College Dance Center. Yeah.
Wow. And Maria, we know each other primarily through BAAD, the Bronx Academy of Arts and Dance, where I worked in New York before moving back here to Pittsburgh to take on the role here at Kelly Strayhorn. Do we know each other any other way? That's how we first met, right?
Well, I think that's how we first met, but we've cut a rug together. I know you as an amazing DJ.
Yes,
I've long respected you as an amazing arts administrator and arts advocate. And I know you as an artist also, and a friend. So I think in the spirit of holism, there are lots of ways that we get to connect.
That's very true. Yeah, it's been great getting to know you kind of outside of the like formal building, art together through lots of emails, lots of phone calls, and just sitting with you. It's been really great. So thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. I always want to start out with asking, how are you doing? How is Maria doing?
Thanks for that question. This feels like such a more human time than the last few years have been. And I'm really sad that a pandemic brings us a little closer to our full humanity. But just that question, how are you? These days feels so much more resonant than the kind of normal drive-by. How you doing? Hey, okay, let's get to the business that we usually do. So how am I? I'm doing well. I'm grateful. I'm really investing in my health, my wellness, my relationships with MB dancers, my relationship with my wife, my relationship with friends. My wife isn't feeling so great right now, so things aren't perfect in my world, but she's getting better and better. And
she's with you?
Yeah, she drove here to Chicago so we could weather this thing together. And I am so grateful. I would not want to be kind of untethered and disconnected right now. But yeah, I mean, there's always the duality and the everythingness, right, of this artwork that we're making called life, which means that I'm not saying everything's perfect, but I'm well. Yeah.
I hear that. I hear that. Yeah.
How are you, my friend? I mean, things are brand new. You're in this new role, which is a
Mhm.
homecoming for you, and I'm so glad you're back at Kelly Strayhorn. Although we also miss you in New York at BAAD. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
but then this all happened, and you hit the ground running, and then the ground kind of changed, no?
Right. So I feel like I can answer this in a few ways. The answer that I've been going to, and my honest answer, is that I feel grounded. I mean, I feel like I'm always a very grounded person, a person
Yeah.
who kind of paces himself and just takes it, day by day, having the kind of solutions and answers that I have, and relying on a community for the many other kind of questions and solutions that come up. That I am not, though I am the executive director, I do not lead alone.
Mm,
So really, like, recognizing that, calling on people, staying grounded in that has helped me a lot. I see Lily Bo says big Taurus energy. um, we talk about me being a Taurus a lot. And yes, so I feel like I'm leading with a community and inside of a community and as a community member.
that's
So
right.
that helps me a lot. And both with the Pittsburgh community and all the community that I made in New York and elsewhere. I mean, I feel really grateful to be talking to you because you're someone who I admire so much. It's been so amazing to even just to organize with you. You're just next
Yeah.
level. Um,
We're next level. I mean, we are in the spirit of what you're saying. No, I feel the same way about you, and
yeah, yeah,
that's the beauty of. I think multiple brains are better than one. Multiple breaths are better than one. Multiple. I'm thinking obviously right now of hugs and contact. It's
yeah.
better than one. None of us has to kind of be perfect or amazing alone because we're not. We can't be all the time, but together we can be really powerful.
And how is the MBDance community, the folks that you've worked with, your kind of close network?
Yeah. People are, I think, doing well, and our chops as artists and as improvisers, that's serving us well right now. I think this idea that we go into a creative process and that is literally unknown. We don't go in trying to sort of tighten everything and tamp it down from the beginning. And so, I talked with Courtney Cook yesterday on the phone for a while, who's an MB dancer, and she's riding it out in Brooklyn and doing an amazing job. I just got videos from Jasmine Hearn, who's, a Pittsburgh diva, and also Johnny Cruz Mercer and Angela Pittman. Yeah, and then Kayla and I talked last week. So one of the things that we're doing is rehearsing remotely. And we actually weren't planning on being in rehearsals right now. It wasn't one of our scheduled times.
Okay.
But we're a community. And I thought, oh my gosh, I know that we're all suffering financially right now. Theaters having to shutter necessarily and residencies getting canceled. So I thought, well, even if MB Dance wasn't going to be on, can MB Dance be a little bit of a net that works, as the People's Institute would say? And so, so we hired dancers and said, okay, here are some prompts, and based on material from the last time we were together, let me send you some videos, and can you send me videos of what you're doing? And it's not, I'm not saying that in a way that's meant to be a savior. I mean, those hours that we were able to hire people for through MB Dance is not going to pay their full rent.
Right.
But just what we were just talking about, Joseph, that idea of all of us working together feels right. Feels like, okay, well, I can do that. And it has been such a pleasure and really kind of touching to see people working out my material, but through their own bodies, in their own spaces, Oh, it's been a lesson in earnestness, and I'm grateful. And the piece that we're working on is site responsive. So to be really honest, this is perfect for us. You know, to
Hmm.
say, yeah, don't worry that your limit is right there. How can you move with, beyond, around, in relationship with that lamp rather than pretend it's not there? So
And
yeah,
this is
for
a
us,
work, the work that you're building with them. This is something that you've been in a development process already, right? In-person
that's right.
development process.
Yeah, we've been in an in-person development process for over a year, almost coming up on 2 years now. And it's for a new work called Desire, a Sankofa Dream.
Hmm.
And it's the site responsive work, as I said, that really centered choice making and desire and agency
Hmm.
of queer and or trans people of color.
Hmm.
So yeah, it wasn't too hard for us to transition to remote because we've got quite a base of a lot of time together on it already. Yeah.
That's great. And Maria, at the same time, you're also in the position of being an educator. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I love doing that. It's part of organizing to me. And right now that's taking the form of being at Columbia College, Chicago.
and how is that working out right now? I mean, I have, lots of artists are also educators in some capacity, or, teach dance here and there. And you all are having to adapt that as well. Um,
Yeah.
and in your case, I'm sure with many students from around the country or world, how are you doing that, and how is it going?
You know, I'm a big fan of the Nat Ministry and Amara
Yes, amen.
Borkman, you know, and many other artists. I mention Amara because she's a sister friend artist who really, well, what she says is that she's helping patriarchy and capitalism die.
Mm,
Um, and I really appreciate her for that. And I bring them up because with the students right now, my goal has been to adapt and shift
yeah,
and not pretend like we're in class the way we were before,
yeah.
because we're not. And I'm really trying to remind myself not to go into hyper productivity mode, and therefore not to invite them into hyper productivity mode. So
Hmm.
the students are that I get to work with are amazing young artists. I really care about them. And it doesn't mean we're doing nothing. You know, I've been looking for kind of what's the in between. It doesn't mean I have to say classes are canceled, do whatever you want. We're not doing that at all. But for instance, the techniques class that I used to teach, that I'm still teaching, we transitioned it into a dance conditioning class because I don't want to pretend that we can have this big ensemble experience
Right.
in a large space together, because we can't, you know, and people are in different spaces. But we can invest in our bodies and be ready and nurture ourselves through sweating and feeling agency. So that's what we're up to. And then I've got a class that I made called Queer Makers of Color that I'm so grateful I got to create as part of this residency,
Hmm.
because it's aligned with Desire, a Sankofa Dream, with this new piece. And that class is humming along. I mean, it already had a good rhythm, so we were able to transition pretty well. Yeah, and then I have a rep class where I'm working on the piece. I mean, that's what I'm doing here. And with them as well, we were exploring, actually just yesterday, since the piece is site responsive, we were looking at our virtual spaces, at our camera lenses and our device lenses as the new space that we're dancing in. And I really have to shout out Andrew Suseno, because I just did a Parcon Resilience intensive with him online, and he really
Okay.
helped us think about this digital space as an expressive space. And so that's something I've been exploring with the students. So really I'm trying to be where we are now and not pretend that things are different, you know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I do think that, in part, thinking about this moment as a moment of possibility, has helped me. That we're kind of all learning together, and that things can't work as they normally do, and as they normally did work, didn't mean that they actually worked as well as they could
Hello.
have. So now is the moment that, you know, when we come through to whatever the other side of this is, now's the moment that we don't exit on the same side. You know, let's go all the way through and exit through a different side. You know, I'm thinking a lot about how disparities are showing up, disparities that we knew,
Yeah.
but folks are talking about them in different ways right now. That COVID-19, we already know, is disproportionately affecting Black folks in the U.S. And
Yeah.
in the U.S. in particular, just, you know, talking about what's happening here. And I think about your work with ACRE, Artists Creating Real Equity. And I wonder,
Yeah.
just like with your, I wonder if you can just, you know, give us a little bit more information about ACRE and the work that you do there, and maybe how ACRE would approach this situation.
Yeah. Well, shout out to the ACRE community, first of all. I am so grateful to be a part of that community, and a co-founder of ACRE, along with Nathan Trice and Sarita Covington, who are both amazing Black artists as well. And ACRE's been pretty active, active in our checking in on each other. Again,
Okay.
thinking about active not always being in a productivity mode, but you know, we've got a really robust roll call going on where everybody's checking in about where they are, how they are, and resources they can share and what they need. And we've been able to share resources that way, which feels really good. We also did have our last ACRE gathering virtually, and that's the first time we've ever done it all virtually. And we still did our caucusing, white people talking with white people, people of color talking with people of color for part of the time, and then coming back together for part of the time. And I know, at least for the people of color caucus, and we even had a part 2, what we've really been focused on is solidarity with Asian folks, because the myth of the model minority that tries to pit Asian folks against other people of color has been falling away, you know, sort of bursting at the seams. I mean, we know that that is only yet another divide and conquer strategy of white supremacy. But it's easy to say that, and not as easy, I think, to live our solidarity. So for us, you know, for the people of color, that's something that we've really been digging into, is saying, well, where have our pain bodies been? And can we talk about them and heal from them so we can be in true solidarity and not hold each other hostage? You know, the other thing is that I was part of a Black Women Summit virtual event that Ava Yasantua from Gibney sort of coordinated and birthed, and then a few of us helped bring it into being.
Okay.
And we were harassed. Some young white boys sort of broke in and showed pictures of genitalia and different things, and ended up calling us ends. I mean, it was really horrible. And I so appreciate that ACRE mobilized. And my wife, Alicia, in particular, but she's such a great community organizer, because it's not just her. ACRE said, you know what, Black women, we got this. If y'all want to take a rest because that was traumatizing and you don't always have to do everything, we got you. And so they've got a multi-pronged approach where they are following up with Gibney, putting pressure on Zoom to say, you know that these hate crimes are happening, you need to do something.
Wow.
They are following up individually, getting the IP addresses of those particular boys. So ACRE's really working. But I do want to say, as far as COVID-19 disproportionately affecting Black people, that is so real. And we knew it would happen, unfortunately, right? Because the US was founded on anti-Blackness and racism, particularly targeted at Black people. So it doesn't surprise me. And that's the next thing that we've got to all continue. I mean, just continue to band together around. But
That's
I
right.
just say for all of us working in theaters and dance programs at any arts organization, we've got to remember that the fact that COVID-19 is disproportionately affecting Black people means that the Black people that we work with, whether they're sick or not, if they're not sick, it means they disproportionately have family members who are sick. It means they're disproportionately caretakers in addition to trying to do the rest of their artistic work. Black artists are disproportionately also working in service industries, you know, not only in our art, which means that they're at a higher risk for COVID-19. I mean, there's a whole, none of this is ever isolated. So I'm really grateful for some of the relief efforts and resources that are specifically for people of color and Black people. So I'm thinking of, I have to shout out the Emergency Fund for Artist Leaders of Color. I have to shout out Dance NYC's Coronavirus Relief Fund that really has prioritized people of color, because this isn't new, you know, we know that. It's just the latest way racism has shown its face in the US.
That's right. Thank you, Maria. This is why
I love
talking to you. Yeah, thank you. So we've gone over our 19 minutes, but I'm glad we have.
Okay.
Because we can claim even more minutes if we'd like. But I don't want to take all of your time. But I'm wondering, you know, do you have any advice for me as a new executive director?
Oh, I love that, Joseph. I mean, first of all, about the minutes, I'm just thinking about the fact that you and I are always surplus. How could we not be extra? But particular to you, Joseph, one of the things that I continue to be inspired by about you as a person and you as a leader in our field is that I never have gotten the feeling that you are being used by a machine, you know? We work within institutions and our art can really become institutionalized. And I feel like you continually bring your full humanity. And I know you invest in yourself. I know you have a strong physical practice. And I think that shows in how you do your work. It means that you show up as a human, not as an agent only of an institution. And the ways that I see that are, I see you being creative all the time. I mean, with this series, with the way that you think about working in groups. And so I hope you continue to kind of think and be with other people as people. And I think that you have such a strong asset of recognizing genius in other people. And I think that's an amazing thing. So as you are now executive director at Kelly Strayhorn Theater, and I'm so happy for you, I would just say, stay the fabulous human that you are. Do you know? I mean, humans make up institutions, not the other way around. And I think you have that in spades.
Yeah. I appreciate that so much. And I've been thinking a lot about that as, you know, we all are kind of, or let me speak directly to kind of institutions and presenting arts organizations. We all are kind of coming together at this moment, making decisions, but I want to make sure that, you know, I'm making the best decisions for Kelly Strayhorn and not for like an industry as a whole, that I am considering and being in community here specifically, and for the ways that I think, you know, we should be moving forward as a, you know, people first organization.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really glad you said that, because you know, just taking in all the information in this current moment, we could very easily, you know, make the conservative decisions. I'll say.
Yeah.
But I think it's a moment to not take any health, you know, risks, but what are the other kind of risks or strategies that we can put in place that help us even beyond this moment. So thanks for sharing that. Maria, is there any last thoughts that you have? Anything else that's on your mind?
I think I'm overwhelmed with gratitude, and I want to say again, I keep hearkening back to an MBDance piece that we did in 2017 called Dying and Dying and Dying.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't go on and on about it, but I'll just say that I am grateful for the tenderness of this moment and happy to let some things rest and die as they need to.
I'm just going to let that sit and breathe. Thank you, Maria.
I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you too. And I want to let folks know they can follow you on Instagram through MBDance. It's MBDance twice, right?
True. Yeah, that's right.
Yep. So that's M like Maria, B like Bauman, and dance like dance, just twice.
Like dance.
And then and is there any other contact information or web address you want to let folks know about?
Yeah, sure. We're also dancing online at mbdance.net. So www.mbdance.net. MBDance, dancing on the internet. And also, you know, ACRE, if people are interested in being a part of understanding and undoing racism in the arts, along with the People's Institute, you can look on Facebook at ACRE PSAB. Yeah, I think those are the ways. And may we connect as much as we can digitally, but also with ourselves and whoever is in our homes.
Yeah. So this is a show, an event, a conversation that happens weekly. It's 19 Minutes with Joseph Hall every Tuesday at 12:30. You can follow Kelly Strayhorn Theater at kelly-strayhorn.org. On Instagram and Facebook, we are KS Theater. So thanks so much for joining. Thank you, Maria. I wish that I could hug you the next time I see you. I'm sure it will be time that I can and safe to hug each other. So I'm looking forward to this moment.
Thank you. Peace
right,
to you and everybody.
Please tell Alicia I love her.
I will. I will.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Bye.